The name of the game. Football. The name of the game. Football. The name of the game.
Welcome to What's Up World Cup. I'm Pat.
And I'm Andrew.
We're brothers, and we're going to talk the World Cup in Kansas City. Mostly because you're the biggest soccer nerd I know. Every vacation growing up was centered around soccer trips. I think the high school we went to was dictated by soccer. And soccer has been...
You sound bitter. I mean, because you said the high school we went to was
I mean, look, my best friends are still from that place.
Okay.
And also from youth soccer.
So maybe soccer was good for his life and for you.
So you're a giant soccer freak, and I own a business that has a bar that hopefully soccer people will come to and watch the World Cup.
Well, I'm coming, so we know that at least.
Yes, and we're 3 miles away from Swope, which is where...
You mean Arrowhead or Swope?
Well, both. We're 3 miles from where the games are going to be, and 3 miles away from England's going to be training, even though they're not playing here.
Would you ever have guessed that the English men's national team would base an entire World Cup experience around Swope Park?
No, I would not. Absolutely, I wouldn't. They just love Swope. Remember Swope growing up? Can you imagine anyone ever saying Swope Park? That's
actually the current bookmark I have for the World Cup book that I'm reading.
Yeah.
Is a picture of my team at a tournament at Swope.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When?
1991, probably.
We played soccer at Swope Park as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you only went there to find hookers and drugs.
I've never been there to find hookers or drugs, but I have been there to play soccer.
Okay. Well, that adds up to the timeline that you wouldn't have been into that in the early 90s. Or ever.
Or ever, yeah.
Well, look, the World Cup's coming. Let's talk about it. I wrote some questions down to keep us on track.
Okay, look at that.
I have a Guinness back here that I'm going to enjoy while we...
That's good. I mean, because there's nothing better than drinking beer while you're talking about soccer.
That's right. All right, so 650,000 people is what they estimate is coming to Kansas.
Who's they?
I don't know, but that's the number that they've been throwing out. We were on a couple World Cup meetings that we didn't keep going to, but 650,000 people is the estimated number of tourists coming to Kansas City during the World Cup.
Yeah, well,
over, under, what are we?
Everybody is saying that that's an overshot. The hotels are, I think Kansas City, I read, the hotels had the biggest, in Kansas City, the biggest reporting of undershot for what they were expecting for their own fill rates.
I've seen headlines that FIFA has let go of hotel rooms in a whole bunch of markets, including Kansas City.
Yeah.
So,
but wasn't that always part of the plan?
What to
you always grab more hotel rooms than you're actually going to use.
Another indicator is the Star. I think the Star report. I saw it somewhere on social media, but I'm pretty sure it was a Star. Like international flights are up from last year for the time frame of the World Cup.
Flights, not international. We don't have international flights in Kansas City. Just flights in general.
Okay, but we know which ones are coming from other countries.
I guess maybe
that end up here.
Yeah, I guess maybe.
Isn't that what MCI stands for? Is international? You talking about we don't have international flights here?
I think we have a Toronto flight and a Cancun seasonal flight.
Ticking some boxes, my friend. That's all I'm saying. So you're going to say safely under 650,000.
I think it'll be under 650,000. But for those that are thinking it's going to be a flop and a bust, are wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I think Kansas City is going to be a big old party for a month.
What percentage of what number? Let's just put a number on it. How wrong do you think they are? Of people that come to Kansas City for the World Cup.
Why will they even know
how
many actually came?
I don't know, but just say.
I say that 80% of what they initially said.
I can't do that math. Can you? That's 10%, 65. That's 130.
So 480,000.
Okay, of that.
Yeah.
How many are American, or how many do you think are foreign?
I think they were hoping for a lot more foreigners that are coming this time around. But I mean, it's not great for Kansas City. Kansas City got a good draw and a bad draw at the same time, right? We have Argentina and we have the Netherlands playing games here in Kansas City. Argentina likely playing 2 games in Kansas City. Those are really well-traveled fan bases. Usually the biggest partiers, the most friendly, the fun people to hang out with at a World Cup.
Okay.
We also got Algeria and Tunisia.
Fun. When I think those countries, I think fun.
I certainly don't think the bar is going to help out, bring them in. But the problem with Algerians and Tunisians is currently they have to put $15,000 cash to get their visa, and they get the money back when they leave the country.
Oh, that's a thing?
That's a thing.
Just for those countries?
There's like 8 of those countries worldwide.
Okay.
And those countries are included because the administration is worried about them overstaying their visas.
So we can say that Lawrence, Algeria, not going to be a big boom.
Not going to be a big boom for Lawrence, no.
All right, so the 4 teams, I wrote this down, are here. We've got this, we're the smallest host city ever, or just this World Cup?
Well, not ever, because Qatar had the entire World Cup in one city, and the entire country of Qatar only has like 250,000 people in it.
Oh, okay. All right, got it.
So, but the smallest of this World Cup, yes.
Okay, and yet we have 4 teams training here.
That are staying here long
So
term.
England, Swope Park, which is right
England
down
is
the
Swope
street,
Park, just down the street. They're staying at a boutique hotel in Prairie Village.
as you do.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that is there any working class people that you think might get confused about the closeness of Raytown and Prairie Village?
I don't imagine there's going to be that many English fans here.
Really?
Just the English fans that live here, I think, will be here.
Okay, so that was the other question: is of this, let's say now we've knocked it down to 480,000.
Yeah.
You didn't give me a percentage, mostly I think because you're a chicken. Of
I
how
said
many
80%.
would be American.
Oh, 80% will be American.
Okay, and then of that number, how many are here because their team's training here, and how many are here because of games? Like, does the training home bring many people to Kansas City, or only the match days will bring people to Kansas City?
That's a good question. I've chatted to some friends that have gone to previous World Cups to get their take, and all of them said they didn't build any of their plans around where the U.S. men's national team trained.
Okay.
All of their plans were built around.
Because you hear crazy rumors, like I heard that Argentina is notorious for they spend all their money to get here, they get tents when they get here, and they stay as close to the team as possible.
I mean, I've read
So that
that
would-
too, but I guess I don't really know.
Oh, yeah.
I do think, okay, that's a good point. Argentina's likely to play 2 games here, right? They're also playing in Dallas. I think they're like 4 of their first 5 games will be in Dallas and Kansas City exclusively, right? So, so if with knowing that to be the case, I think there's a very good chance, and the Argentinian national team's training here, that if they base out of a spot and just spoke out, they'll base out of Kansas City.
Okay.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Argentinians, everybody. I was talking to my buddy, and my buddy had went to the 2006 Germany World Cup, 2010 South African, 2014 Brazilian, and 2018 Russian World Cup. And he told a story of listening from his balcony over top, and there was Argentinians day after day after day. They went to the same bars in Russia every time, and they were just singing songs all night long outside of his balcony. So he said the Argentinians are some of the best that you can listen to.
Okay. So we have Argentina, England, Netherlands, Algeria. Who will, out of those 4, who will bring the most fans?
Netherlands will be the next. Argentina 1.
Netherlands, too.
Netherlands 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Netherlands are playing a home game here.
Okay.
They're playing a game here. Also, Netherlands are, so there's a unique piece here. The Dutch are notorious for not flying when they go to the World Cup.
Okay.
Instead, they bring campers.
Why? I don't know.
I think it's just more of a party.
Okay.
And in fact, I follow one of them on Instagram. We should tag them in whatever we put out, but it's the Dutch Orange Bus.
Okay.
It's a double-decker bus that they've painted orange.
Okay.
And they send it to every World Cup. It's already arrived in the United States. It came by boat into Galveston. It just arrived just a few days ago, and they'll drive that thing around for the
How
World
much
Cup.
does it cost to ship your double-decker bus across the
I
ocean?
have no idea. But
Is that the one that you asked about parking?
yes.
Okay. All right. Now I'm into it. You didn't describe it as well.
Yeah.
So they just were like, is there anywhere I can park my bus in Kansas City?
Yeah, he put it in the World Cup Kansas City Facebook page. He said there's 5 of us between 35 and 40. We're nice guys. We like to drink some beer, but we're clean and tidy. We're looking for some friends to hang out with during the World Cup and a place to park our RV.
Okay. All right. I'm working on that. I mean, parking, we have none of it. And it's probably the number 1 pain point here in Early Hustle on a day-to-day basis. But I think I can carve out, so we'll figure it out for the big
DJs
orange
will probably
bus.
love a bunch of foreigners around. Right?
Yeah, they're super open, welcoming people there. So that's awesome. I think everyone should check in at DJs. It should be the Ellis Island of foreign visitors for the World Cup when they come in. Just check in there. That way everybody gets a full American experience. Speaking of which, what are the stereotypes for these? Like English fans, that's the hooligans. Like, are there like going to be fist fights in Kansas City? Like you said, you don't think very many English fans are going to be here.
No,
but can you expect some hooliganism? Is that still a thing?
There are a lot of English men that will be here. If you go to the Fan Fest, or if you go to a bar to watch a game during an English game, if you go to a good bar, there's going to be a ton of English people there because there's a ton of expats from England that live in Kansas City. So there'll be English people. Those will be good games to go watch in public for sure. Is hooliganism still a thing? They did a pretty good job of killing it in the 90s.
Okay.
So no, I don't think there's
So
going
there
to
shouldn't be any fist fights.
No, there'll be some fist fights as there is at
In any large,
bar.
yeah.
Yeah. But no, not in any.
No proper hooligans.
No.
Okay. And
You, as a Kansas City, you don't need to be worried about your safety when attending World Cup stuff.
so the Dutch like to ride in RVs.
And party, and they wear orange, which is a very recognizable.
What are the
color.
any other traditions or like fan stereotypes for Argentinians or Algerians or?
I don't know much about the Algerian fan group, but I don't think there's going to be very many here.
As
so
you
we're probably
said, quite the
fine.
hurdle. Yeah.
Other games, teams playing here locally. Ecuador is playing. I'm
Yep.
quite excited about Ecuador. I've been to Ecuador 4 times. My family hosted an exchange student from Ecuador, which kind of started the interest in going there. Ecuador is an awesome country. I've tapped into their social media a little bit. There's a pretty big Ecuadorian American presence
Really?
that seems to be traveling well for the games. So actually, your question earlier, what percentage are local or American versus non-American? I think we're going to see a ton of fans of all the teams.
Like, how many
but they live in the
Ecuadorians
United
live in the
States.
States? Okay, so but you're saying expats that are already here
That are already
will
here
travel.
will travel to the games. Yeah.
Okay, so that adds up.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody's wondering about like coming to the United States. Probably not the hottest time ever in our lifetimes to want to visit.
Not just because of that, but also because of the cost of everything.
Yeah, everything's expensive.
And this World Cup
$5
is
a
not-
gallon in Chicago
Yeah.
gas this
Yeah.
week. It was wild. All right, the Fan Fest. What is it? Is it worth it? And it feels like, remember when the NFL draft came to town and they corralled all the money and none of it got to any of the local businesses? It feels like this is FIFA Fan Fest. That's their attempt to absorb as much of the cash without it touching as small business as possible.
I don't think that's it.
So I hate it.
Okay.
Make me hate it less.
FIFA Fan Fest, it's not a this year thing. It's an every World Cup thing.
Okay.
They do it at all the places. They're just big, large viewing parties to watch games. So
Okay.
It's a fun environment to watch games. FIFA Fan Fest, the tickets are free. I assume they'll be selling beer on the inside.
Right.
But the World Cup is not like the draft. The draft was, 3 days? Right? And there's really one day that's really exciting. And then they scale down excitement from there, right? So from a draft perspective, you're going to go to the draft to watch the game. The World Cup is 6 weeks or 5 weeks of 104 games of party, right? And so I registered for the free tickets to FIFA Fan Fest for like 6 dates. I'll go down there a couple times and see if it's worth sticking around and hanging out. They've got some live music. Flo Rida's playing. Flo Rida's playing. Cal really wants to go see him, but that's during
Flo Rida?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
That's
a
special.
big fan of Welcome to My House.
Oh, okay.
Has been since he was like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's during a USA game, so I don't think I'm going to go down there during the USA game. I'll
Sure.
be here at Gnarly, like you should be, watching the U.S. men's national team play with probably 100 to 150 of my closest friends.
Yeah. So if you don't get invited, then Andrew doesn't consider you one of his. If you don't get a personal invite, you're not in his top 150.
Well, to be fair, I'm going to put an entire invite out to my entire social media following.
World Cup watch parties in Raytown of our childhood. You got people who could care less about soccer to get up at like 3 a.m. and play back driveway soccer.
You remember this?
I do. Of
My
course I do.
probably my favorite World Cup memory of all time, 2002. U.S. men's national team playing against Mexico in the round of 16.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. was the kickoff because the game was in Korea. And we had 30 people at our house watching the game.
Yeah, and nobody knew what was going on. But it was a great time. And the World Cup is a giant party. Is this the greatest thing that's ever happened to you in your life? The World Cup coming to Kansas City?
I think this might be the greatest thing that's ever happened to Kansas City
Wow.
in my lifetime.
Like bigger than Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. No. It's the greatest single event that's ever
All right,
taken
that's how
place.
we know that you're
Yeah.
being honest
Yeah.
and that you're a Kansas Citian.
Now, Patrick Mahomes, actually, I don't think the World Cup's here without Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I think you
Why
could make
are
that
there 4
argument.
teams here? Like we're the smallest host city and we have the most teams staying at it. Why is that?
So it's actually a good story. So FIFA goes around and scouts a bunch of locations, and so to the locations for the teams to base at, because they practice and live in proximity of that city, and they spoke out to go to their games because their games are usually in 2 or 3 different cities. So FIFA created a short list of 64 places and facilities to train at. Kansas City had 3 of them on that short list. We had KC Current facility, we had Sporting KC facility in Wyandotte County, and then we had Rock Chalk Park in Lawrence. Well, all these teams come in and they tour the city to decide where they're going to go. Kansas City put out a dog and pony show. I mean, they just went all out to show that Kansas City was the best place for somebody to come and base out of. Center of the country, we got good food. It's a big city, but not a crazy big city. We, as a city, it's different than LA or New York. LA and New York, they get events like this all the time. In Kansas City, like, we're over the moon. I don't imagine the gnarly hustle of New York City has started a World Cup podcast, right? To talk about how excited they are for it. Kansas City's going to pull out all the stops. We welcome people better than everybody else. So we showed that off.
Midwestern hospitality.
Midwestern hospitality at its best. England didn't get one of the first 3 choices because they don't have a game here. And so England called up the guys running the show, said, hey, you drove us by that Swope Park facility that wasn't on the FIFA list. Could we rent that place out and stay there? So they went off the list to choose Kansas City. How cool is that?
That is really cool.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me why. Like, it's the hospitality?
I think it's the
But
hospitality.
also, like, set up Kansas City as, I mean, Kansas City, like, the current sell out every game. They have the first women's purpose-built stadium of any kind in the world. The Kansas City Comets are leading MASL in attendance in the last 2 years. And we've all seen those images of the Kansas City Power and Light completely flooded. Why is Kansas City such a soccer?
There's a lot of reasons that go into this. I actually think the reason Kansas City is such a hotspot for soccer is because 2 reasons. One, Kansas City has the longest tenure of a consistent professional soccer sports team of any city in the entire United States. We go all the way back to the 60s with the KC Spurs. It rolled straight from KC Spurs into the Comets into the Wizards, Sporting KC.
And we're the
then back to
longest running in America.
And every other city in the U.S. has had a period that's dropped off.
That's the kind of stuff you don't get. What other thrift store bar World Cup podcast you picking that gym up in?
So that's one reason. And so all of those teams in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, the professional soccer players didn't get paid squat. So what do? They have to coach in the community to make some extra money. They coach in the community, and it builds more excitement and interest in people like you and me that played a little bit of soccer growing up because some expat or some ex-pro coached us. The second reason is British Soccer Camps, which is the largest soccer camp company in the world with 100,000 camper registrations every year. That was started in the mid-'80s, and it was only British coaches. And they coached all across the United States, but they came into Kansas City, did their training, and then went out and coached everywhere. Then they came back. Well, many of those British soccer coaches met a girl, fell in love, got their visa, stuck around, coached in the community, and it's created this groundswell of more kids like us playing. Kansas City is the second highest participation rate for youth soccer players per capita in the country.
That's a huge nugget right there. And that has to, I imagine, be why we have the images of Power and Light and why it all.
But then as much as I'm frustrated by sporting, generally speaking now, I mean, we've had big investment. Lamar Hunt, Clark Hunt. I mean, they put big money into soccer and saved the sport in the early 2000s, saved MLS. Lamar Hunt was instrumental from that perspective. And so that has played a pretty big role in.
This is maybe a deeper cut, but Ron Maich was one of the British soccer guys.
He owned British soccer.
And he's American or English?
American.
He's American. He also owned Discovery Zone.
Correct.
And his sons own Messenger Coffee. So if you grew up as a millennial in Kansas City, Discovery Zone is a name you remember. And if you're a hipster now, you know Messenger Coffee.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason.
That's part of the reason why soccer is what it is.
I learned that whole thing this weekend on an 8-hour road trip to Chicago.
Oh, I could have told it to you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
That's why we're doing this. But all right. Well, I guess that'll wrap it up. If you want to hear more about the World Cup as it comes to Kansas City, we'll talk about players. We'll talk about fans. We'll talk about the news as they come. We're excited about it. We have no idea what the hell to expect. When is everyone coming? Last question. When is this this groundswell of people that we've got your wife painting murals for, when are they going to show up?
The FIFA staff that will arrive, I've actually started chatting to a guy that works for FIFA that will run all of the communications and the video boards at Arrowhead for the entire tournament. He arrives in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And so he'll arrive in 2 weeks. The teams will start arriving the very end of May, the very beginning of June. So those teams that are camping and basing out here, we'll start to see a footprint of the World Cup from those guys around that time. And then we're going to run this thing. I mean, the first game kicks off, I think, June 16th, Argentina versus Algeria in Kansas City. But this podcast, this episode, we're going to keep talking about it because Gnarly Hustle is going to be the place to be to watch games. This is where I'm watching games.
That's it.
And this is where I'd like you to watch games too.
100%. And if you're only remotely interested in the World Cup at all because you live in Kansas City, I think this is the content for you. So keep coming back and we'll see what we can give you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys.